Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, and if you've been following me, you'll know that I spend a lot of time traveling. And it's always handy to have a dual SIM phone in my, well, smartphone arsenal. The phone that I've been carrying around the most on the road is definitely the Wiko Darknight. Now, this doesn't have the fastest processor, but it does have an amazing display and a great camera. And the battery life for a dual SIM phone, I think, is very stand-up. So let's take a look. So here it is. Here we have the Wiko. This is my definitely my favorite traveling handset because it has a gorgeous display and a great camera. It's really responsive. I mean, it's a 5-inch display, 720p, IPS panel. Let's just head into the gallery for a couple of photos just so you guys can check that out. Flip that over. All right, so you can see that the colors are just really great on this. The phone's fast and responsive. It's only running a MediaTek MT6589, I think. That's a quad-core processor, right? It's not fast, right? Like, so if you're going to be doing any benchmarks on it, you're definitely not going to think, ooh, what a speed demon. But the thing is, like, just look at the phone. Look how fast, like, it's fast enough for, like, any type of kind of surfing, navigation. I think it's a really quick phone. So let's just actually play a video here to show off the display even more. This is my favorite video to show off because it's by Samsung, of course. Samsung makes great demo videos. Let me crank up the volume here. So like sound-wise, yeah, sound-wise is looking good. Definitely has a glossy display. But this is an HD video. 1080p actually. It's playing absolutely no problem. Yeah, so I mean, to me, the fact that this has a mediocre processor, I mean, on Quadrant it's only over 4,000, and like today's latest phones are around 17, 19, right? So I mean, like this is pitiful in terms of benchmarks, but in terms of surfing, I mean, come on, guys, this is fantastic. Battery life, this is a 2,000 milliampere battery, so I've actually installed Dew battery onto here. It tells me I have 5 hours and 17 minutes left, and I am at, what's that? 26%. So I actually brought this phone to CES, and this is kind of one of the reasons why it's one of my traveling war horses here, because the battery life, actually, you put that Dew battery thingy in there, and it's not too bad. So these are my benchmarks, my battery benchmarks from CES. Let's just take a look at this. So at 3 o'clock, I had 39%. Obviously, I started out with 100, and my days at CES begin at a very, well, I guess it's a reasonable 7 a.m. I think it's early for me. So, and one of the days at 10 to 1, don't know what I was still doing up, but it was 17%, which wasn't bad. But I do have to admit, on one of the days, I ran out of battery at like 3 o'clock. I was really aggressively using my phone, like aggressively. And I think I popped the SIM card out, so I was on Wi-Fi only. So that, I definitely ran out one of the days. But in general, I think that those battery times really aren't too bad, right? So if we head into here, I really like the layout and the software, how everything's kind of set up here. I think it looks really nice. You go into the settings, like this has a really like nice vanilla Android kind of setup. It's tweaked a little bit, obviously. What version of Android is this running? 4.2. So that's definitely not the latest, which is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, I didn't really notice it. I mean, I think it's a really great setup. Yeah, super quick. It is. It's super quick. All right, so it's got a 8-megapixel shooter here on the back, which, if we head into the gallery again, is one of the reasons why I am in the gallery here. Let me show you some photos. Hopefully they're not too racy. Okay, well, they're of CES. You're lucky. All right, so this is when I went to see, what is that, Absinthe. That's a sexy show. All right, so here's a Ferrari I saw. Yeah, there's some tablets. But I mean, overall, I thought the photo quality of this was pretty good. So this is a video sample. This This is a Sony press conference. So you can see around here the light, so-so. It sounds pretty good, but you can see that there is some definite lighting issues there. But I mean, it's crisp though. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. But I mean, the video quality also isn't too bad. If you look at some of these photos, it's me walking, taking a photo, so the optical image stabilizer isn't too bad. This was the Intel press conference. Let's zoom in. Well, Mooly Eden's definitely pixelated there, but I mean, from far away, I think it looks pretty good. So I actually use this as my Google device during the show. So for all of my Google Plus posts and everything like that, I did it all off of here. This looks fantastic. Right, this is Huawei's press event. Like really, well, yeah, it doesn't really handle the auto lighting very well. But, you know, whatever, that's fine. So let's just take a quick look at the back. I should really point out that it's scuffed here, but to be honest with you, that's not too bad, because how that happened was I was riding my bicycle down the road, and I was going quick. And when this hit the ground, God, what a freaking awful sound. There was an old man standing beside me, and he was like, oh. Right, and I went back and I was like, oh shit, I just broke this phone even before I got to review it. But I didn't, right? So for me, like reeling down the road, that's actually like not too bad on damage, right? And so this is actually an aluminum backing. Right, so it's built to last. It's a real warhorse of a phone, and this is obviously the reason why I think it's so freaking fantastic. Is it's dual SIM, right? 2 SIM cards, both GSM, woohoo, really great. And there's a micro SD card in there for expansion. I think this comes with 8 gigabytes natively, and like I mentioned, this is a 2,000 milliampere battery. Right, so 8 megapixel camera. Forgot to mention that. And there's that single speaker there. I mean, so overall, I think this is a really fantastic phone. If you kind of look at the profile, looks really good. Yeah, there's the power button there. It's a top-mounted micro USB here. See that? Headphone jack at the top, and a volume rocker. Just to give you a quick idea of how it kind of sizes up. So this is the LG G2, right? This is the 5.2-inch smartphone. So that's a little bit bigger. Here we have the Samsung Galaxy S4, so it's also a little bit bigger. I guess the knock feature's turned off. That's lame. My favorite feature of this phone. All right, so then there we have the S4. Here would be the HTC One, which is a fantastic handset. And then here would be LG's the G Pro. So this is their phablet. Right, so it's more in line kind of with what's going on there. But if we kind of size it up against the LG G2, it's a little bit longer, right, size-wise. But yeah, I mean, like spec-wise, I can't even begin to discuss how much these are so much better, because this is definitely a mid-range device. I mean, but usability-wise, I think it's really fantastic. Yeah, so I'm definitely a big fan of this phone. Definitely gives me all-day battery life. I think the UI is super sleek and fast, and it's $200 US, which is disgustingly cheap for what you're getting, I think. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have a dual SIM phone that you think might beat this one, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get my hands on for a review. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to our channel? I'm your host, Nicole Scott from Mobile Geeks.
What?